What's up, everybody? It's the Lummy Sports Show. A little hot there with Rhett. Look at the little graphics behind us. It's fancy, Rhett.
Yeah, looking sharp.
Hope everyone...
It is the number one sports show in Tampa Bay that starts on Wednesdays around noon.
Or a little before, 11:45. You know, whatever it is. It's all, yeah, exactly. Just, it's a give or take here. Sometimes we get a great opening from Bubba. Sometimes we don't. It's, you know, it is what it is sometimes. We just enjoy the people that follow, put the alerts on the YouTube, and I believe we are on Facebook.
Yeah, YouTube and Facebook, not kicking it out quite as wide as we did for the after show, but that's what, you know, trying different things out is for. $20 right off of the rip from our buddy Brian from Philly.
Of course, he joined us in that prize pick.
Yeah, certainly none of the $20 he just sent was anything he won on our fucking prize picks from Monday night.
Most likely, probably not.
But we are getting ready for Thursday night football tomorrow.
I believe there's a team that we like that's playing.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to do a prize picks for tomorrow's game, to be honest with you. I don't really like betting on the Bucks. It kind of takes away the fun of watching the game for me.
I only bet on the Bucks by the points and the over and under and things like that. I don't bet on the individual players because I feel like they're just going to shit the bed. That I'm a bad jinx.
Yeah. Usually there's always like one guy on the ticket who just absolutely shits the bed.
Oh, that's how it
for
always
us works. For us on Monday night, it was the 49ers kicker Jake Moody.
Yeah, another one. He missed a 45 yard?
40-yarder indoors. No wind. I mean, missing two against Cleveland in front of his entire family the week before was hard enough. And like Cleveland has somewhat of a reputation for being a tough place to kick, but God, dude, I was so pissed.
But then he knocks a fucking 55-yarder in to make his one and only. It was pretty sad. Luckily, you know, I still like prize picks. It's a lot of fun. And we'll nail another one and build our accounts back up.
Sure will.
So, we had picks. It is going to be kind of a short show. Bubba, obviously, we did go a little long. And I don't know, I was talking with Rhett a little bit about this. Yesterday until about, I think it was, I got home 7 o'clock. I was talking to Ashley, having a little Taco Tuesday. And she's like, I'm describing what my rest of my week is going to look like and what I've scheduled. And I realized that I was thinking yesterday was Wednesday. And so I booked a couple extra things today thinking that Rhett just skipped out on me yesterday with the sports show.
So you had some heat with me yesterday.
And Macho Man scooted out of here early. To get turned. I could turn us on technically, but you guys do have a lot of settings that I haven't been through with you guys. I said, you know what? I guess I will just go home and go do what I need to do.
Everybody's got heat with me around here.
Because I did text you. I was like, hey man, where's the TV remotes? Because what?
Do you think I was still here?
No, I knew you left. I walked out to the front yesterday, thinking that you were out front with Scout doing your little thing. And when I walked out there, you were backing up. And I go, I guess we didn't even really talk about it. But
were you standing there with Travis?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know if you were coming out. I saw Travis. I got scared when I was backing out. I was going to hit him.
Yeah.
I saw that door swing open.
And then when you left, I think Scout was on kind of, crawling around or whatever. And I'm like, all right, maybe he's got something to do. We didn't talk about it. Because I know normally you mention something in the morning. Like you did today with Bubba. But, it was yesterday, and I'm like, okay, maybe he just assumes it. If you notice, I had your picks ready. I had them ready yesterday, sitting on the desk. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, they are in a nice, clean order this week. I got them all right here in front of me.
And it was
They're
easy,
all organized.
It was easy to find yesterday. I put them back right behind on the bar when I was, turning the TVs off, and I was like, all right, well, maybe we'll do it. I can't do it Thursday, but all right, well, maybe we'll figure something out. But we are go through our picks. I hope we did pretty well. I know that when I looked at it earlier, the Bucks did not. That was the only pick I really looked at. I was making sure actually that was the right piece of paper too. And I know we lost the Bucks game, but
we did have a couple of picks that were not great. Your upset of the week, though.
Am I 2-0 now on upsets?
For another week in a row, New England got the best of Buffalo Bills. It was a last-minute game-winning drive from your boy Mac Jones, but it was quite the impressive performance. So, yeah, Lummy undefeated on his upset of the week. But if you want to start from the top, Thursday Night Football last week, Jacksonville at New Orleans. We both picked the Jags, and they won that game. Las Vegas at Chicago.
Are you marking these? You want me to?
I've got a mark. Do you have a list in front of you, though?
No, I do not. I should start making a copy.
Yeah, that way we can get the records right, because there is maybe a discrepancy about the total number.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some extra math this week. But we can figure out what our record was for the week. Jacksonville at New Orleans, we both picked the Jags. We got that right. Las Vegas at Chicago, it was a fucking beatdown, and you picked the Bears to win that one, so I lost that one. Cleveland at Indy. I think Cleveland ended up winning that
Cleveland did win big time at home. Not at home, I'm sorry. With the big field goal block, Indy really blew that one, even though there's a lot of controversial calls. I believe even the hop over the line from, I believe some of the announcers said he's the greatest defensive line performance we've seen in a long time.
All right.
You know.
Next game, Washington at the Giants. Who won that game?
Washington at the Giants. I believe the Giants handed them. We got their first home win in October, obviously, and their first TD in October.
Well, we both picked Washington to win, so I suppose that we lost that pick. Man, we are having a shitty week. We both picked Tampa Bay. They lost that game in disappointing fashion. We both picked the Lions, and they got their ass kicked. Pittsburgh at the Rams. We both picked the Rams, and I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh won that game.
They sure did, 24-17.
God, we fucking sucked last week. Arizona at Seattle. I want to say Seattle won that game.
Well, they sure did, 20-10.
There you go. So I got that one. You picked Arizona. Green Bay at Denver. I picked Green Bay. You changed your pick at the last minute from Denver to Green Bay, and I believe you said something along the lines of you're going to regret it, and you probably will, because Green Bay looked like shit.
Yeah, and Denver won 19-17. Wow. I mean, how bad is that? Right now, what is it? Denver's 2-5. Packers are 2-4. I never would have guessed that the Broncos, after watching them completely get demolished by Miami, that they would have beaten the Packers.
Not a great look. LA Chargers at KC. I picked the Chiefs. You picked the Chargers, and I believe Kansas City won that game. Miami at Philly. I picked Philadelphia. You picked Miami.
Hey,
so
look at another loss.
Yeah, another loss for old Lum. Oh my God, good thing your upset kicked in this week.
Yeah,
it is tough sledding. All right, Monday Night Football, San Francisco at Minnesota. I picked San Fran. They got exposed. You also picked San Fran, and primetime Kirk Cousins came through and proved us all wrong.
378 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception for Kirk Cousins.
Damn. All right, so let's go through the records. Your record, you were 1-2.
You okay over there? 813-90 Bubba, 813-90 BUBBA.
3-11 last week picking games, Lummy.
Well, first losing record.
3-11. I was not much better. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. So what? 4-10.
I went 3-11, 4-10. Wow, we really killed it. Absolutely crushed it.
Our best week.
I know if you're a first-time listener right now, and all you millions and millions of fans out there that are listening to us we did a lot better. We still have a winning record, right, Rhett? I think we are still well above 500.
Yeah, something like that. The last record I have written down for myself is 58-33. And for yours, it is 56-39, but that is where the discrepancy lies, and that's where we got to do some math again.
Yes, and luckily,
my favorite.
Yeah, luckily we do have a good amount of papers over there with all our records. Like we said last week, the NFL this year is very, very weird. From all the weird upsets and all the good teams losing to all the shitty teams, the different fantasies, and I mean, who would have expected the Buffalo Bills, well, besides me, to lose to the New England Patriots, and the Bills currently to be 4-3. I mean, I think everyone was kind of thinking that, and I don't even think the Bills have lost, well, I guess besides the Patriots, have lost to any other AFC East team. Oh, they lost to the Jets. Holy shit.
Yeah, they barely squeaked one out against the Giants. They did lose to the Jets, and then obviously their most recent loss to the Pats.
And they beat the shit out of the Dolphins.
They did.
And
so, kind of an interesting team this year, but, in the same boat as the Bucs are, where you got to start winning games. Something's got to give this week. And while the Super Bowl championship window for Buffalo is obviously going to be much more wide open than it is for the Bucs still have a chance to not lose so much ground in the division. With a win this week, you get to stay competitive. You get to keep a positive record, which this time in October for a roster you didn't think was going to do well is obviously going to raise expectations as well. But, I mean, it's a get-right game for both teams. Like, both teams desperate for a win. Because for the Bucs, you're looking to avoid losing 3 in a row after you start 3-1, and then Buffalo, losers of their last 2 out of 3. So they just want to prove that they can stay relevant, because I think they only lost 3 games all of last year, and they're already 4-3.
They're 4-3. I mean, right now the way you're talking is that possibly Tampa Bay goes up to New York, plays in what they're predicting 55-degree weather. Now ESPN has 82.7% matchup predictor to beat the Buccaneers. It's an 8.5-point spread, 42.5 points. I mean, it looks like they're expecting Buffalo to hand it to Tampa Bay. I mean, do you really see Buffalo coming out of this?
I think it could potentially be a game kind of like the Eagles, where if it does get out of hand, it's going to take until the second half. But this is the most beatable the Bills have looked all year. I mean, they look like a team who could very well play down to the Bucs and end up losing this game. If Tampa Bay is more disciplined than they were last week, and you get maybe a better game from Baker Mayfield, some of the biggest things the Bucs have struggled with, obviously the run game is going to be a conversation all in itself, but Baker's got to be a little bit better, because some of these passing schemes that they were drawing up work well. Like, the stats are there, the percentages are there, all of that stuff. As far as, conversion rate, getting open, getting guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin involved, Baker's just got to hit them. So if he can do that and they can stay disciplined this week, I don't know how well they're going to bode on offense without the run game, because at this point we're 8 weeks into the season, and I think we just have to come to the conclusion the Bucs are not going to be a running football team.
No, and I wish they'd almost open it up and just say, fuck, first 1-2 plays, they just send, fuck it, Mike Evans on a fucking go route.
Right. Yeah, take your shots early. I mean, I will say I like the aggressiveness they came out with against Atlanta last week. They went for it on 4th and 6th on that side of the field. They're in enemy territory, but they were right on the other side of the 50, and obviously they don't get it. But the first drive of the game last week, they came out, they had a big conversion on 3rd and 11 from Rachaad White. I think he had another big-time 3rd down conversion. They seemed like they were establishing a little bit of a rhythm, at least compared to what we've seen these last few weeks, and they're losing games, but I don't know. It just fizzled out, and I think they might try that aggressive approach again. But it's going to have to start with throwing the ball. You cannot be a run-first team, especially against Buffalo. I know their defense is banged up. They're missing a lot of guys, especially on that defensive line. Like, I think Ed Oliver's still hurt. I think some of their linebackers are still hurt. They definitely have some DBs who are missing due to injury. So maybe you can take advantage of that if you get the offensive line to show up and everybody's on the same page. But the run game is not something that's going to be viable for the Bucs against better teams in the NFL, because they don't have it. From play calling to the offensive line blocking to the running backs in the backfield, it does not matter. It is the perfect combination of suck. And it's going to lead to Baker passing the ball a lot on Thursday night, I believe.
Definitely. Let's jump out of NFL real quick and cover the Neil Malplaisir 999 super chat. His Packers suck. I don't even know if I want to play the Go Pack Go, because I feel like every time I've played it, it's been a bad luck for you guys.
Nope,
that's not even it either. Sorry, Neil Malplaisir. Oh. Go Pack Go!
Yeah.
Go Pack Go!
Yeah.
Yeah, that has not been good for you when I play that. But sorry, Neil Malplaisir. Maybe you guys will pull up the nose. NCAA, obviously the biggest story so far was Michigan buying those tickets and going out and recording it. What's your opinion, Rhett, on. I mean, do you really think it's that big of a deal?
I do think to a degree it is that big of a deal when you've got other coaches who have noticed it and said something about it in the past. And, when it, like Greg Schiano, did you see that one clip of him?
Yes.
Where he was basically alluding to, well, this stuff has been happening for a long time and it's not right. And I think stuff is going to get revealed here soon. He was being all passive with it.
Yeah, because he's probably done it in the past.
But the fact that this one guy on Michigan's staff has enough of a reputation to where most coaches in the Big Ten can point him out on the opposite sideline, I do think it does become a bit of an issue. You can call it what you want. I mean, you can call it scouting. You can call it doing research. You can call it just taking advantage of a loophole in the rules, I guess, which Michigan has proven to be pretty good at these last couple of seasons under Harbaugh. But I would like to think this is something that isn't going to go over well, especially if Michigan continues to be one of the top schools in the country. Like, if they're playing for a national championship this year, people are not ever going to shut up about it.
No, it's going to be like kind of like Deflategate.
Right.
We've did they win the Super Bowl that year during Deflategate?
When Brady was retired, I want to say they did, or not retired. When Brady was suspended,
yeah,
I want to say he came back and they won.
They're still talking about how he
because what was that?
balls.
What was that? 2016. So it would have been Super Bowl 51.
Well, because even New England had the recording issue too.
Yeah,
Spygate.
Yeah, that was what, 08, 09?
Yeah, that was back in the day. So, and I think wasn't Schiano on New England staff at some point? Or no? After he got fired from the Bucks, or am I wrong on that one?
I am not.
I feel like Greg Schiano was some part of Bill. But I mean, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm just making a guess. Schiano. I mean, he has kind of turned around Rutgers. Greg Shapiro. Is that
Greg Schiano?
I don't even know.
What you typed in.
Geez, yeah.
Here, I got you. SCH.
SCHAIANO.
There he is. Big Greg.
Yeah, one of the worst Bucks coaches in history.
Old Greg.
Let's see. Was he with New England? No, I guess I was wrong. He's with Ohio State.
Took a little bit of a break after the Bucks, 3 years, and then he went to go be assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for Ohio State, which is a pretty damn good gig.
Yes, it is.
Coming off of, one of the worst tenors in recent NFL history with the Bucks. He was able to take a break and then jump right back into a pretty desirable position with a pretty good program.
And then take back Rutgers, which...
He was at Rutgers for 10 years.
Yeah, no.
And he was a head coach there. I didn't realize he was a head coach there for so long before. Maybe I did. Maybe I just didn't remember.
He was a shitbag. I'm sorry, he wasn't. Well, he was a shitbag.
Oh, toes on the line.
Yeah, but the Rutgers was a shitbag before he joined there, and then when he left, Rutgers turned back into a shitbag, and now he rejoined him. And I mean, they're not the greatest team ever, but
only 57 too. I thought he was at least a little older.
Yeah, they were taunting him as the next big thing for the Bucks, and he's a young guy and coming off and yada yada yada, and he coached at Miami, the University of Miami, I think for a year or two.
You know who it seems like is getting that treatment now is Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of positive attention as the D coordinator for LA, and they're talking about him now. They're talking about him now the way that they talked about Byron Leftwich a couple of years ago when Bruce Arians was really gassing him up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Raheem, they said he started out for a week and a half as the Bucks defense coordinator before they fired Gruden and put him in there. So, I mean, realistically, because Monty left to go coach with his kid, and then they put him in there.
Well, the fact that they decided to hang on to him, kind of like they did with Dirk Cutter after they got rid of Lovie Smith, they just promoted from within and didn't move on from that entire staff, which I think in a lot of cases can help a team, at least if you're looking to build some consistency, because the Bucks always had that reputation of, having a coach for 2 years and then just giving them the axe. Then you get a brand new staff in there. But transitioning like that the way that they did and keeping some of that staff together, I think was a good move, because Raheem Morris ultimately had more of a say-so in future seasons. And then we all remember 2010. Some people say it was a fluky year, but I don't give a shit, man. They went 10-6 and barely missed the playoffs. That's pretty good for what I think was considered his first full season as head coach, or was that 2009?
No, 2009.
Okay. I didn't know. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you're right, because Gruden was let go at the end of 08.
Yep.
Because they were on pace for the playoffs, and then they just fucking collapsed down the stretch. They were like 9-3.
They sure were.
And then they missed the playoffs in 08. I do remember that.
Now, who's the quarterback in 10 for the Bucks?
In 2010. Oh, it was your boy.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
It was your boy.
10
it was
to 6.
The chosen one.
That's right.
The prodigal son.
Yeah, get rid of him at 24. Young coach.
Josh Freeman.
Yeah. Probably can still play. So I was looking at the college football here. Big games. Obviously, I'm excited about Florida State. 7-0, number 4, playing Wake Forest. That is a watch game right there.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, I'm possibly looking at that Florida State 20.5 line. I'm probably going to take that. Florida State sometimes plays down in an away stadium, so I think that's going to be a closer game than 20.5.
I haven't watched a lot of Wake Forest, so I was going to ask. They are 1-3 in the ACC, so it's not like they play tough within the conference. But are they playing teams close this year, or are they just kind of one of those beat-em-up schools?
No, let's look at their schedule because, like I said, I mean, they got Clemson 17-12.
They did beat Vanderbilt this year.
And they did beat the dominant Old Dominion.
27-24.
And Elon.
Hey, they beat Pitt 21-17 as well.
ACC at 30-13. Clemson 7. Yeah, I mean, and the other Georgia Tech. So, I mean, they haven't lost by more than 20 to any of their ACC opponents. So I could see that being a close game.
Florida, Georgia.
Oh, that is right.
Oh, what a proper fucking beatdown. That line should be way bigger than 14.5.
You don't think Florida's going to step up, come through? What are they? It's in Jacksonville. Is this? I think it's last year in Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is the last year they're going to do it.
For a couple years, 5 years?
I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. I don't know if they just didn't.
Well, they're renovating Jacksonville Stadium.
Oh, you're right. So that venue's not even going to be available.
Correct. They're redoing it.
Jags are going to be playing in
Who knows?
London.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, Florida, Georgia, I think, kind of like how these games always seem to go. It'll be close enough to keep you watching for 3 quarters, but by the 4th quarter, it's going to be.
Georgia's going to pull away.
It's going to be a 2-possession game, and then you get a late touchdown and you're down 7 points, but they get the ball again and they score. They get a field goal. Like it's going to be one of those games where they kind of dangle the carrot. But I have been impressed with Graham Mertz, the quarterback for Florida so far this year. I didn't have the highest of hopes for him, but I think he has the highest completion percentage in the country, if not top 5, and one of the better.
66.4 QBR rating.
1897 passing yards. And
12 TDs.
12 touchdowns. I wish it would show where he ranked in the country, but that's okay. But he's been all right. He's been decent.
So no upset?
He hasn't been a liability. He hasn't been turning the ball over too carelessly.
So no upset for you with Florida, Georgia?
My gut says no.
Yeah, 2-score game, 3-score game.
Oregon, Utah is going to be a defensive struggle. I'm excited for that game.
Oh, so you're taking the under on that? 47.5? I mean, Utah
defensive struggle in a college game is so much different.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, I still think Bo Nix is going to get 250 yards, 275, couple touchdowns.
I think like a defense struggle sometimes with these Pac-12 schools or even some other schools that score a lot. It could be 30-27.
Yeah, but even these 2 schools, Oregon and Utah, whenever they're playing a lot of these teams, especially when Utah played USC, they just shut them down. And I think it's going to be 2 decent offenses, but 2 really good defenses, and that's why I think it's going to be more of a slow game.
Duke and Louisville. I mean, obviously the Duke went in, lost to FSU, kind of got their ass handed to them. Louisville 6-1, 3-1. I think that's going to be a decent game.
Louisville been a pleasant surprise this year.
USC's lost 2 in a row, I believe.
Yeah, Caleb Williams playing like shit.
Caleb Williams.
He's 0-2 since asking for a minority stake in whatever team drafts him. I'm not saying it's a sign from the football gods, but maybe he should back it down a little bit.
I think it is a sign from the football gods. I think that he got a big fucking head. I mean, I think he's really good, but I mean, that usually takes down some of the greatest players.
Tennessee, Kentucky, some SEC action. I think that could be a fun game too. Kentucky not ranked, but they are 5-2. They've been playing pretty well.
Another game I was looking at, it was who's Arkansas playing this week? Because you got me on the Arkansas. I like their.
I got you on the Arkansas. I was telling everybody a couple weeks ago they were going to play Bama close because they've been that type of team. We watched that game against LSU where it really came down to the wire. Arkansas is a much better team than their record shows.
Oh, it was last week. I bet on Arkansas last week.
I bet the over on KJ Hamler.
Nice.
Their QB. No, it wasn't nice.
Nice. You got a loss?
Yeah. And it pissed me off, too, because it was the combo pass plus rush yards. He's pretty effective with his feet, and he just didn't do shit last week.
A big game, obviously, in the Bubba world. Colorado goes to Pasadena, plays UCLA. UCLA right now, 17-point favor.
Did they play USC in the Rose Bowl?
USC?
Yeah. Like when Colorado played USC earlier this year, did they play them?
Oh, shoot. I clicked the wrong button. I meant to click. Oh, damn it.
No, it's all right.
I meant to click Colorado, and I clicked USC. Yes, they did. No. They played him at home.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they played him at home.
Didn't realize. I forgot they played that game in Colorado. So going to the Rose Bowl, big-time atmosphere. You're going back out to the West Coast. Can you count on these Colorado players to put their heads down and try and play a complete game against another top 25 school? I didn't think UCLA would be 5-2 this point in the year, but they are competing. What are they, 2-2 within the Pac-12?
Yeah.
They're a top 25 school. They're a team that a lot of people are going to be picking to beat Colorado. Does ESPN have the percentage of the lay of the land as far as picking those teams?
Let's see here. I'll click UCLA. Oh, fuck. I gotta do this goddamn thing again.
You gotta click that week's game and then all these fucking names.
83 to UCLA, 6. I mean, I believe. I think it's going to be a little closer. Coming off the bye week, I think Deion's kind of got his players kind of focused in.
I mean, he's stressed. He's growing out that gray beard. Do you see he was hanging out courtside at Lakers game this week with Travis Hunter?
I mean, he's feeling good. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm hoping that he's got it turned around because I think I'm going to be betting on. I think I'm going to be betting on Colorado and I'm taking the over. I think the over 63.5.
I do kind of like the over in that game. It feels like. I haven't watched a ton of UCLA, but it definitely feels like a good week for the offense to just get back and Shedeur to keep padding those stats.
And if you're not looking forward to those games, the Saturday night 8:00 game, Old Dominion versus James Madison.
7-0 James Madison.
James Madison, I think is.
I mean, they're taking the Fun Belt by storm this year.
Yeah, the Fun Belt in the Sun Belt. I mean, some people do call the Sun Belt the Fun Belt. Right?
Yeah, that's what I just did.
I know. I'm saying. I mean, James Madison was able to be. I think we're one of the two schools that moved up that they can't qualify.
What, James Madison and maybe Coastal Carolina?
No, Coastal Carolina's been there for a while.
App State?
No, they've been there for a while too.
Virginia, Marshall, UConn.
What the fuck are you? No, I can't remember the guy. It's Jackson State, I think. Jacksonville State. There's one
the Sharks.
School. Sure, the Sharks.
I think it's the Jacksonville State Sharks.
Okay, that's a dumb name.
Maybe I'm thinking of like the D2, D3 JUCO up there.
Why the hell would they be the Sharks?
Why the hell not?
There's no fucking sharks around them. But I mean, supposedly James Madison is actually a pretty good football team this year.
They got those nasty sewer sharks up in Jacksonville. That dirty ass water.
And Mississippi just floating through there.
It always reminds me of
Mississippi. Jacksonville State Gamecocks. From our guy that I think we've talked about before. I think he's played football. Yeah, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. I think they've been in Division I for 2 years now, but they haven't been bowl eligible in the 2 years. I think it expires after this year. So they're the Gamecocks, not the Sharks, Rhett. Well, they're 6-2, but I mean they're not undefeated like James Madison.
There certainly is.
Rich Rod's their coach.
If you search Jacksonville State Sharks, I promise you'll find something. They're green.
Jacksonville State Sharks.
Yeah, because now it's going to drive me crazy.
Are you talking about the Dolphins that are in fucking Jacksonville?
No, Jacksonville State Sharks. Jacksonville Sharks. Yeah, but it's not the fucking arena.
It's not. Yeah, we're not talking about college.
Go down a little bit. Go down.
Do the Jacksonville Sharks still exist?
See, that's not their colors. It was like green.
The Bull Sharks?
Is that what it is?
No.
It's not the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just fucking crazy.
I think you're a little crazy, kid.
It's been a long time since I've watched D2, D3 college football. I will give you that. I'm 100% positive it was a college team and they had green fucking green uniforms.
And it's not the Dolphins?
No, it's
from
not.
Jacksonville? That is a Division II school? Maybe Division I. Maybe they're an NAIA, though, in football. You mean like this one?
Go to their go to football.
Yeah, right here. Gold helmets, green.
You know what? No, I feel like now you're just gaslighting me.
Gaslight, dude. They got their 5,000 seat stadium, the DB Mine Field in Jacksonville.
Maybe they get a minor league soccer team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I am wrong. They're Division I FCS.
Ooh.
And that 5,000 seat stadium, which they've talked about. They talked about the Jacksonville Jaguars playing at this one or University of Northern Florida's soccer stadium, I believe.
What does that fit? 6,000?
The North Florida?
Yeah.
Let's see here. University of North Florida. Well, at least they will definitely have they're a good team now. It'd be funny if they played indoor. Yeah, no, University of North Florida Stadium. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Maybe they should play at Ben Hill Griffin. Of course.
They probably could fill it out.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about every week. You're right, Ben. I keep thinking about the size discrepancy between an NFL stadium and then obviously, the pride and joy of the SEC.
Yeah, but Jacksonville is actually a pretty big stadium. I think Jacksonville is one of the bigger stadiums in the league.
Yeah, it
is.
I
think that's why they're getting rid of some of their.
I think it's like 60,000.
No, it's way bigger than that. The Bucs is 60,000. Come on. The Redskins. The Commanders was one of the bigger ones, and they had to put tarps all over there, kind of like the Rays.
All right, Jacksonville University. You got me. The Dolphins. It was. I think it may as well.
It says 67,838, but I feel like it was a lot bigger and they tarp it.
Maybe they used like a fake number when they announced the new scoreboard. Yeah, sorry.
I feel like you're Mitch McConnell
Words
over there.
I was almost gonna implode. I'm actually not high this week.
03 to 04, 76,877 is what their capacity was. 95 to 2001, 73,000.
So it's gone down pretty much every year.
Yeah. Well, they did pop it up a little bit, 67,000, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out. James Madison on ESPNU supports the little schools. If it was today or Tuesday, which I thought it was yesterday, we could have been talking about Liberty.
USF have a bye this week?
No, they're away. I've given up on USF.
Yeah.
I mean, they did beat whopping UConn.
Are you still buying in? They made a comeback against UConn. I watched that game.
Did they?
Yeah, they were down 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, and they ended up winning.
Oh wow! Awesome! Congratulations, USF against UConn.
Do you? Yeah, the big powerhouse in the American Conference, UConn. Do you buy into Coach Galesh?
Yeah.
Do you really, or are you just being sarcastic?
No, I think you give him a couple years at least. I think they are on a bye week. Yeah, I think you got to give any coach, you got to give 3 to 4 years, even with the transfer portal to get his players in.
I think realistically, he's taken a good approach to coaching. That sounds
Listen, they're 4-4.
That sounds stupid when I say it like that. They are 4-4. It's for a first year, taking over a shit program who won 3 games last year?
I wouldn't say 2, maybe 1.
Maybe 1.
I want to say maybe possibly
they did
1.
lose their starting quarterback a little over halfway into the season, but he's making improvements and he is stressing the importance of winning football games, not finding the silver lining in a loss to Alabama, just winning fucking football games. And I can't imagine, or I can't remember the last coach that they had who was vocal about that. Charlie Strong was kind of like Todd Bowles. He talked about a good week at practice and setting hopes for next week and have a good week of practice and come back better and just execute.
4. So right now, currently, the new head coach of the University of South Florida Bulls, who is super relevant to everybody, they in the last 3 years won 4 games.
So they've already matched
what they got in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
The last time 19 was when they had 4 wins. So the Bulls have not been very relevant at all. Obviously, you take a team that obviously had 4 wins in 3 years, and you already have 4 wins. You're looking up and give them a chance. Obviously, it would have been really nice. We've talked about this a ton on the show. If USF would have actually probably paid a little bit more for Dion, And I know everyone is down on Dion in Colorado because they have lost, but with this schedule and probably with the players that he would have brought in, USF definitely would have been way beyond where we're at right now in 4-4. So if they can make a bowl game in his first year, I think that's a super successful year for a first-year head coach on a shit team like USF and the Wood fucking Bull thing. And I'm not getting into that shit.
You may be more well-versed with the history and the traditions of USF, like your good friend Woody. I mean, if they end up being bowl eligible this year, you have to assume at least 6 wins.
Yeah.
So would that be the single biggest turnaround from one season to another in school history?
Yeah, well, obviously, if last year with 1 win, I mean, yeah.
Right. You go from 1 win to 7, let's just say. I know that the American Conference, they don't play UCF this year, right?
Well, UCF is now in the Big 12.
Yeah, so they don't play UCF every year now. So you don't have that game, lurking at the end of the year that unfortunately you just kind of know is going to be a loss.
Hey, listen, motherfucker. Okay, for like 9 years, USF, or 8 years.
They got the better of them.
Yeah, they got the better. Now UCF has the better of them.
And then UCF got their national championship.
UCF took the USF's Big 12 spot,
which they would have gotten with Dion, probably.
We definitely would have had that with Dion. Probably would have even gotten some other conferences begging for him to come in here because Raymond James and 65,000 seats would have been sold out every game. Their new stadium would have been coming. They probably would have even changed it, tried to lock Dion in for another 10 years, change the stadium for 35,000 to 55,000.
Put a roof on that bitch.
Put a roof on it, put some AC in it, buy Dion 10 Escalades and 5 Skags, We would have been on the sidelines every game, with Bubba just sitting over there with his long black jacket and black hair. What jacket was he wearing on that Cowboys game that we saw?
Oh God, I have no idea. It looked like a green starter jacket or some sort of bright colored 90s windbreaker
with his long black hair.
The loud jackets where when you move your arms it goes
yeah. Those things go for a lot of money.
Yeah,
authentic starter jackets on eBay.
You go find them at the fucking flea market. I found a couple of bucks windbreakers, and easily every time they're asking for over $100.
Exactly.
And it'll be like faded by the sun. It'll be some shit that a homeless guy wore every day, and they want $100 for it.
And then some guy went to the Salvation Army 5 years ago and said, "Oh, it's cool. It's a starter jacket." And
they just let him have it for free.
Exactly. Where's quarter day at the Salvation Army?
Yeah. That's where you got to go.
Salvation Army, man, quarters.
People Salvation Army, Goodwill, any thrift shops. I like flea markets, but I like flea markets for more of the shit. Like, I don't go shopping for old vintage clothes at the flea market.
Those people at the flea market know what they're giving up. My buddy Daryl has this 1 or 2 Salvation Armies or this other place in South Tampa, and he always goes there usually after the NFL season.
Oh, and you can find like player team issued stuff.
Yeah, then he also finds a lot of old teams. So like he goes later on, and the guys that come in for summer or even in spring when they get signed, like he's giving me like Colts stuff and like a bunch of random NFL player gear that you can see they just turned in.
I remember when Dirk Cutter got fired by the Bucks, he dropped off all of his polos and his team issued clothes to, I think it was a Goodwill on like Hillsborough.
Exactly.
It was the one closest to the Bucks facilities, and some guy on Facebook just found them all. He was going through and he found like $6 polos, and on the back on the name tag it said D Cutter.
Yeah, and he probably was pretty smart and probably listed them. Probably got a good amount of money for him.
Yeah. Game worn,
coach worn.
NFL issued official.
That official stuff, man, will get you going.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I will say that I don't think Dirk Cutter got a bad rap because he clearly was in over his head at the end of it. Like, I remember the biggest turning point was when he had a press conference, and it was after we had lost like our 4th or 5th game in a row. They were trying between Fitzpatrick and Jameis. Every guy was getting benched every other week. I think it was like 2018. He goes, he's like, well, if we knew what the problem was, we'd fix it.
Yeah. We don't know what the problem is. I'm looking at I'm probably going to get fired here pretty short, so fuck it.
Yeah, that shit was pretty funny.
If you guys know what's wrong, you guys just let me know.
I think that's what he was getting at. That was like the overall tone
to the
of
his
press conference. Yeah, he's
you
like,
guys
you know
gonna
what?
ask me, yeah.
Everybody has a lot of things to say about this team, and if I knew what the problem was, I'd fix it. But if you want to let me know, I'm willing to listen.
Send me an email or tell me right now in front of the public.
Since you guys know so much.
Well, talking about fixing it, might as well go through our picks since Lummy had a fucking huge brain fart. Yeah, well, hold on. Let's just take our great call here because I'm sure it's a great caller from 8430.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the Lummy Sports Show. Minus Bubba.
No.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Thank you for calling.
How long was he on hold?
He just called in when I looked over.
Oh, nice.
I switched my screen and it blinked.
You know, you and I have been pretty close on our picks, but I'm kind of relieved that, the shitty week that we're going to have, I guess, came at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually pretty sad when you said 3-11.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
It's all right. I only went 4-10.
I did get my upset. Let's see if I can have another upset today for this week. Be 3-0 since I've started announcing my upset picks.
Would be nice.
Let's go through them.
So, you've got the slate of games. I will write them down as we go through. Thursday night football, Buccaneers, Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay. I can never pick against Tampa, and I like that 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an upset pick. I'm not putting my record on that.
I will also pick Tampa Bay. We've been on a roll. I mean,
well, we were on a roll when you were picking against the Bucs too.
We were, but we've won just as many games with me picking the Bucs.
That's true too. Yeah.
So I will take Tampa Bay. I think the Bills look beatable, and if the Bucs go in there and take themselves seriously like they should, then I do think it is a game that is winnable. Do I think they win? I don't know, but it is winnable.
Rams at Cowboys. Cowboys 6.5. They're playing at home in Dallas. Dallas, I believe, coming off their bye week.
I think Dallas playing at home is going to help them.
2-0 at home right now. I'm going to go with the Rams.
All right.
Let's go Rams.
No upset pick just yet, though.
No, not yet. Not yet. I may have to come back to an upset pick here, but
okay.
It's how you feel. It's just how you feel. So who do you got?
Minnesota at Green Bay.
Well, hold on. Do you pick Rams or Cowboys?
I picked Dallas. I think that's going to help them this week.
Vikings at Green Bay. Is Green Bay bouncing back from that devastating loss to probably one of the worst teams in NFL history, the Denver Broncos?
It helps that they are playing in Lambeau, but I think the Packers proved to a lot of people last week that they are nothing more than dog water this year. I think Minnesota, I don't know if they're getting hot at the right time. I don't know if that's a way that I would put it, but I do think they're going to show up much more well-equipped this week than they have in some of the ugly losses they have had. They still don't have Jefferson. He's not going to be back for a few more weeks, but that rookie, Jordan Addison, really fucking popped off last week, and I think he's going to do it again, even though Jair Alexander, I think that's how you say it.
Come on. Do we really know how to say it?
Fucking honkies. I think Minnesota's going to win. I think Primetime Kirk is going to show up for another week in a row, throw for 300-plus yards, and they will get the job done. So I am picking the Vikings.
I am also picking the Vikings. I looked at the line. It's even, which means
not great for the Packers,
no.
Especially when they're at home and the line is still even.
So I'm going Vikings on that too. Falcons at Titans. Atlanta coming off their huge win against Tampa Bay. Desmond Ridder probably is not going to be turning it around anytime shortly. Titans are even talking about trading Henry, blah, blah, blah. They're playing in Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee.
Home field advantage, another thing that'll help the Titans. But like you said, they are talking about trading pieces. They're talking about getting rid of Derrick Henry. They just got rid of Kevin Byard to Philly. He's been their safety for God knows how long. So they are clearly ready to move on from some of these guys. Ripping the Band-Aid off for them is going to help build a team in the future. But I don't know if I'm ready to buy into the hype with the Atlanta Falcons because if they were a better team, that game probably would have been 34-10 against the Bucs last week.
Yep.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Atlanta, and I think when they play a better defense, they're not going to be nearly as effective. So Fuck it, I'll take Tennessee.
Derrick Henry ripping everyone off.
Yeah, there you go.
Ripping them off, ripping up 100 yards here and there. Saints at the Colts.
Well, my buddy Gardner Minshew has not been nearly as good as I have wanted him to be. Kind of fucking sucks, at least in these last few weeks. Michael Pittman, last week, I had a couple of targets and I think 3 or 4 drops.
Yeah, not looking good.
But he still had like 83 yards and a touchdown. So it's one of those things where they still have yet to figure out what his role in that offense is. I think New Orleans bounces back, and I think Indy is a team that looks vulnerable for a bouncing back against. I don't know if I would call this an upset because both of these teams are not going to be the best.
No.
I like the Saints in this one.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
All right.
Gardner Minshew. It's a 1-point spread for Indy. Vegas is not really giving them much love, but a 2-point spread. I'm gonna go Colts. I'm gonna go Gardner Minshew figures it out with Pittman Jr. and Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. He comes off the bench and loves life. Go Colts. Go Colts.
Go Colts.
Go Colts. Patriots at Miami. I mean, Miami, come on. Bounce back game.
Give me the Fins. They had that loss against the best team in the league last week on primetime. They're going to bounce back. They'll be fine. And New England, a lot of that hype that they had following last week it's going to be quieted down because I think Mac Jones is going to have a tough game. So give me the Fins.
Fins all day. Whoa. This is a barn burner here. Jets at the Giants.
Yeah, it is.
Which, who's the home team? I guess the Giants are the home team, really. I mean, whatever. Really.
The New Jersey Bowl.
Yeah, the New Jersey Bowl at MetLife Stadium. Shit. I don't even know how to pick on this fucking game.
I like the Jets. I know Tyrod Taylor. Believe it or not, Tyrod Taylor, the first black quarterback in NFL history to win a game as a starter for the Giants. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. Racist history up there in New York. So with that being said, I do like the Jets and their defense. They've been good, and I think they can take advantage of Tyrod Taylor this week. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Jets too. You reminded me of the defense that the Jets have, so I'm gonna pick the Jets also, and hopefully my boy Dalvin Cook, who I drafted as a second round pick, probably one of the worst picks. I'm not gonna drop him. Hopefully he has a breakout game, which I don't see happening. Or he gets traded to Miami.
I hope so too.
Do you think he gets traded?
No, I think they keep him. I think Aaron Rodgers, if he's coming back, wants him.
Now, he signed with the Jets as a free agent, correct?
I
can't remember if they traded.
No, they had to trade him. I believe it was for a low-round pick, and then they signed him.
So I wonder who the last NFL player was to be traded twice in the regular season.
I think there's been a couple. Wasn't Kareem Hunt traded once or twice?
Probably
recently
between Kansas City and then he went back to Cleveland.
Yeah, then went somewhere else.
I know he's in Cleveland for the time being, but who knows how long he'll be there.
Fuck you, Big Red. Making fun of my picks from last week. Jesus. Jaguars at Steelers.
I think it's a trap game for the Jags. The Steelers have been playing pretty well, especially at home, 2-1, 4-2 on the year. Had a big win last week that I definitely didn't pick them to win.
No.
But I think the Jags are just too good, so I will take Jacksonville.
Jacksonville for me too. I thought with that whole talk up right there.
You thought I was going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I made my mind up on Jacksonville right then and there.
You're doing everything you can to not pick the same team.
I'm trying not to, but I don't want to have too many upsets because that didn't work out too. I didn't want to have too many shit picks like last week.
Yeah, there you go.
Where I picked against you. So both of us have Jacksonville. That's a 2.5 point spread in Pittsburgh. I think Jacksonville, 48, little cold, but I think they still win. Eagles at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders have been a up and down team. I cannot figure them out.
Aren't they the one team who has already beat Philly this year? Or Philly lost to the Jets. Who am I kidding? I like the Birds.
Commanders did play the Eagles tight, 34-30.
That's what it was. They barely squeaked out of there. So they've already played Philly tight. This is a division game
in the
Washington.
Great Stadium of Washington, or I guess technically, where is it at? Maryland.
I think, truthfully, now that you have not an entire season, but now that you have 7-8 weeks of football under your belt, you've started to see the cracks in inexperienced players. For the Bucs, for example, you're starting to see the cracks in this offensive line show up week in and week out.
Yep.
Matt Filer isn't even going to play tomorrow, so it seems like Aaron Stinney is going to get the start over the Bucs starting left guard because he just hasn't played well, and I think he's got some injury. But I think, Sam Howell getting sacked fucking 50 times so far this year, like on pace to be the most sacked quarterback in single season history. I think
more than David Carr.
He's literally been sacked like 45 times. I wish I was making that up. So I think Philly's going to feast, and I think they're going to be all over them. So I do like the Eagles to sweep that series.
I was thinking of my upset pick, but I see another one down here that might look pretty good. I'm gonna go Eagles too. I was thinking about taking. I'm probably gonna jump on that 6.5 point line for the Commanders. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than that. I think it's gonna be less than a touchdown. But I'm gonna go Eagles straight up.
Okay.
Texans Panthers. Realistically, it's in North Carolina, but the Panthers 0-6. They're looking for probably, in my opinion, they would be smart to just lose every single game, build up their draft status, and just probably trade for whoever wants if he will come out. Caleb Williams. I'm going Texans.
Do you think the Panthers would already be on trajectory for their next QB pick? I would think they still have.
No, they'll trade it.
They'll
Panthers
just trade whatever team wants Caleb.
Yeah,
Williams.
and build and get a ton of draft picks, and like Houston kind of did for Stroud to build that team, and trade down and get a ton, maybe a good wide receiver, some offensive linemen, some defensive help.
Yeah,
Houston.
Carolina season was over before it began, so at this point they have to embrace the suck, which means I do think the fairly impressive Texans at 3-3 come in here and win this thing.
Let's see here. Browns, Seahawks.
Who's your pick?
Oh, I said Texans all day.
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't hear you.
Browns in Washington. I don't think Massage Boy is coming back this week, is he yet?
No, he's not, but seemingly they've been a better team without him.
Yeah, PJ Walker.
Yeah, winners of their last two. You beat the Colts in exciting fashion, and then obviously that big upset against San Francisco. Do I think Cleveland's going to win 3 in a row? No, I don't. Give me Seattle playing at home this week.
Seattle too. I think the Browns lose. I think they're happy 4-3.
Yeah, I wanted to get on the hype train, but I don't think PJ Walker is that guy.
No, not against Seattle going in Washington.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough crowd, tough environment, and it's the Browns, man.
They got some weapons. Coming up by upset pick, Chiefs and Broncos.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
Chiefs and Broncos in Mile High Stadium. Who are you going with? 7-point spread here.
I'm taking KC, and I'll take the points.
Straight up, I said upset, at a 4:25 game on CBS. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs because I am not a complete moron.
You started to say,
I said 4:25 CBS.
No, you said some shit about this being your upset pick when you first started.
Oh, I saw then the next game that I'll make it be my upset game because, who am I? I can't. Let's be honest here. Even if the Denver Broncos would pay me $1,000 to pick them, I wouldn't want to be smirching the great upset picks that I've going at 2-0.
Yeah. No, you got to make it count week after week. You can't just phone it in.
See someone like a Grouper Lips. So all year we've been good on our picks, right?
Oh yeah, we have one bad week.
We have one bad week, and we're morons.
Now you're a moron.
Yo, bro, you're talking shit about the Broncos. You don't know what you're talking about. We had a 3-11 and a 4-10, and we're still like 15, 20 games over 500 for the season.
You're gonna get Las Vegas Mario calling pissed off because you lost him all this money last week.
He quadrupled his bets. He just kept going on and on and on and
just
on.
Just carried over, yeah. He lost all his fucking season winnings.
He's like, oh, this is going to be their week right here. Just put it all on it.
Oh, God.
Ravens, Cardinals, upset pick. Cardinals beat the Ravens.
Wow.
Cardinals
they are
at
home.
Yeah.
They are at home, and the Ravens on a little bit of a hot streak, but they do seem like a team that could be susceptible.
Exactly. Josh Dobbs is going to rub his little bald head and throw for 300 yards, run for 100, and look like the all-star that he wishes he was.
Wow.
Go Cardinals. Let's see if I can extend that to 3-0.
This is going to be a tough game to pick.
Which one are you picking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I picked Baltimore in that one. I was talking about this next game.
Oh, yeah. Bengals 49ers in California, Santa Clara, California. Bengals, 49ers. Bengals going to the West Coast.
San Francisco, losers of their last two. I mean, you go from 5-0 to 5-2, and unfortunately, Brock Purdy hasn't played the best in those losses either.
Nope.
You put the game on his shoulders, and he hasn't entirely showed up. So if this ends up being a game where the Bengals offense can get it figured out and they can stay productive, I don't know if San Fran's going to be able to outduel them. So I know it's a much better defense than the 49ers, and they're probably going to get after it, and they're playing at home, favored by 5.5. Give me San Fran. I don't see them dropping 3 in a row. I think Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is going to play well, but I think that defense is going to step up and make this a low-scoring game.
Fuck it, Cincinnati.
Oh,
Traveling out west.
So your upset of the week, by the way, is Arizona over Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wrote that down.
Arizona over Baltimore, even though people said bad pick, we'll see.
No,
Listen, they got one win this year, okay? And that was an upset probably too. You just got to feel it. Baltimore's coming off feeling good.
Sunday Night Football.
Chicago Bears versus the Chargers. I'm going Chargers. I mean,
yeah.
West Coast.
I think Justin Herbert. The Chargers unfortunately have been a disappointing team this year. What is that? A 2-4 start.
Yeah.
Haven't been playing well at home, so they're going to look to try and make that record better against, a Bears team that, granted, they've had their moments in some of their wins, but they're 2-5 and they're playing. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be back by Sunday Night Football, but they're playing that one, D2 QB.
Yeah. But
I don't know how good he's going to look against the defensive front like the Chargers. They got Bosa. They got Khalil Mack playing out of his mind. So I think that's going to get to the Bears this week. I got the Chargers big time. They're looking for a win.
Chargers looking for a win in California. I got a 8.5-point spread. Definitely will win. I mean, the Bears beat the Broncos. I guess, the Broncos are the greatest team ever. I can't talk bad about them anymore.
The Bears beat the Raiders. I didn't expect them to bring it to Vegas the way that they did. They whooped that ass last week. So
Raiders and Lions Monday night. So we both got the Chargers on that one. Raiders, Lions in beautiful Detroit, Michigan. Lions lost last week. Raiders, I don't know what the fuck they did last week. Did they even play?
Yes, they lost. They got their ass kicked by Chicago.
No, that's right. Chicago coming off 2. Yeah, fuck it. No, I'm going Lions.
At this point in the season, I can't pick against the Lions, man. They're gonna bounce back. They're gonna bounce back. They're a resilient team. They're gonna show people we're fucking here, man.
And at home, coming in front of the great Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we get all these fans in here to light themselves on fire. Just pour fucking gasoline and lighter fluid all over themselves. That way, we can be the match to light this crowd up and really fucking blow the roof off of the place on prime time, nonetheless.
So there's our picks. Lions, both for us.
There it is. Lock them in.
Lock them in.
Hopefully, we don't lose a bunch of money this week.
And I hope Group of Lips picks all the opposite of we do. And we picked them all right this week. Well, we couldn't have because we picked against each other, but one of us did. So,
did we do an on-air prize picks last week?
No, we did not.
I know we had talked about it, but if you know how to reach Lummy,
get a hold of us. Well, you know what? Next week, hopefully, we're coming off our better than our 0-2 prize pick week. So we'll come back next week with a great prize picks and also talk about our $500 winnings that we probably most likely have.
Yeah, I like doing prize picks all in one game too, so you don't got to sweat it out.
Yeah.
Unless it's Sunday and there's a full slate of games. I like doing it for Thursday night, Monday night, like we have been doing. So maybe next week we'll do some prize picks.
Yeah. Plus, we didn't like the Bucs Thursday night game. So
yeah. So I think next week might be a little better. Do you happen to know before we go the Thursday night game next week?
Yes, of course. Watch this. November 1st. November 2nd is a Thursday. Titans Steelers. Well, great game for a prize pick.
Low scoring.
Low scoring. Field goal kickers, maybe. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rhett. Sorry it was a little short. We'll get back on it next week. Do our prize picks. Do our picks. Tell Group of Lips to shove it up his ass. We are live tomorrow, 6 a.m. right here on YouTube and Rumble, Facebook, Bubba Army Radio. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this short sports show. Go check out the High Viz. The high-vis new shirts, an amazing deal.
$16.99.
You can't go wrong with that. Just ask Average Joe, who's putting them over for how cheap they were. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. See ya.